Hi, this is Glenda, and today's soap is inspired by pointillism, which is a painting technique that is made with small little dots. And to do that, I'm going to try to make a landscape, and I created some soap dough dividers for that. Here is my facial shield and neutral gloves. For fragrances, I will use cotton candy twist, forest hike, and possibly lemongrass or lily of the valley. This is the recipe that I will be using, and I made notes at the bottom of how much fragrance exactly I will need for each portion of the soap. I'm going to have 3 or 4 different colors, and I want each color to have a different scent. If you're curious what the results of this might be, I'll let you know now. One fragrance tended to be the dominant one on each soap. So even though you could smell the other ones, the overpowering one was the one that your nose detected the most. So I'm not sure that I will do this because it seems to not be worth it for the other scents to be there if one of them is going to overtake them. I also wrote down how much of the fragrance I would need on the actual containers because these had the potential of being very confusing. And because some of the fragrance had vanillin, I did use a small amount of vanilla stabilizer in those fragrances. I made this soap for a soap challenge from the Soap Making Forum website. This is like a free monthly challenge, and the objective of it was to use soap scraps or to make a confetti soap. You can partially see my confetti soap scraps on the right side in 2 containers. I have sorted them by color so that I will use the blue ones in the blue portion and the pink ones in the pink portion or purple. I wasn't particularly happy with the result of this soap because I think that my soap scraps or the soap chunks were too big to create the effect that I was looking for, and also because I was using pretty much the same color of the soap batter. Some of the soap scraps blended too much and the effect was lost. I believe that a more effective way to create a pointillism inspired soap would be to use the Ciaglia technique, which may actually be pronounced as Ciaglia. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put a link below of another soap that I made using this technique. After getting all the colors done, I added the soap scraps to each container so that I could pour it into the mold. The flower one, which is the purple pinkish one, is the one that I'm most concerned about because I'm using a floral fragrance and those tend to accelerate the soap batter. The idea behind this was that the green will be representing the grass and the pink or purple will be representing like a flower field that was at the bottom of these hills. And then the top is going to be blue to represent the sky. But that little portion that you see on the top right corner will be a cloud. So to do that, I was going to use some uncolored soap butter with a little bit of the blue soap scraps. I brought some of these bars to a craft show, and I remember somebody asking me, what do they smell like? They wanted to know what their nose was detecting. So I will say, well, that one has lily of the valley and cotton candy. And then they'll be like, oh, yes, that's exactly what it smells like. And I did sell quite a few, probably because I had them on clearance since I was unhappy with how they look. But people seem to like them though. After all the colors were poured, I removed the soap dough dividers and then I just did some minor adjustments with the spatula. So this one, I'm not crazy about it. I think I should have done lighter colors like pastels. No, most of the walls release fine except for this one. To make the top, which right now is looking very rough, a little bit smoother the way the back looks, I decided to use my slab soap cutter. The first one that I made, which is actually not very effective because the wire tends to get loose and not cut as well as if it was super tight, and then adjusting the height always is a challenge. Then to cut it into bars, I just use my regular wire cutter, but because this soap slab it's taller than it, I had to put it at an angle to cut it so that the wood portion on top doesn't hit the top of the soap. I had quite a bit of leftovers from the soap batter, which I put in a different mold off camera, and I'm also going to cut that here next. I actually liked how these leftover soap batter bars look better than the ones from the landscape. So those are the ones that I ended up photographing for my website in the end. So this is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.